Sorry about that, you guys. We're back. Sorry. I mean, I guess the good news is it breaking did not completely destroy my computer and make me have to shut down and turn it back on. There must be some sort of problem with VTube Studio. I'm gonna have to get that checked out. See if there's anybody else who's had similar problems. I don't know, man. I'm gonna look into it this weekend. See if I can't figure out why that's happened. Anyway. Oh man, I was getting used to like looking at myself and now I can't. Oh well. Back to PNGTuber. Yeah, sorry about the technical difficulties. And if you're watching this later on YouTube, this is gonna be episode like 15 and a half or something. You get the idea. Anyway.
My exhibits are a reflection of society. I create only that which the public wishes to see.
Ugh. Why couldn't the public have wished for something less horrifying?
Do not fear.
Sorry?
This room is the only one in the museum with such a macabre theme. I do hope you'll explore. There are models of famous singers, actors, politicians. Something for every taste, I hope.
It was Iris who dragged me straight in here, come to think of it.
Sorry. Perhaps I should have eased you into things.
What's the situation with that?
Ah, my temporary waxwork model? He approached me some days ago, you see, with a business proposal.
Oh, what sort of proposal? My dear madam, what these sparse exhibits need is the addition of a world-famous great detective. My god, Sholmes.
Oh, words to that effect. Naturally, I am well aware that Mr. Sholmes is widely known in London as a talented detective.
It's great detective, actually. He's very specific about it.
Yes, the creme de la creme. So I was keen to come to some arrangement with him, of course. But sadly, we were unable to agree terms.
Let me guess. Someone wanted to charge an exorbitant price for his services? For a mere £500, I will dive into your cauldron of wax this very moment. Sholmes, no.
All words to that effect.
Mr. Sholmes might have overdone it slightly with the sales pitch.
Regrettably, the museum has a shortage of funds at the moment due to unforeseen circumstances. So we came to the current arrangement instead.
Surely he doesn't really need to do what he's doing, though, does he?
I would think not, but he was very insistent.
I have a 50-shilling problem that must be resolved by the morning.
All words to that effect. It's the pawnbroker, that's what it is. He must have done something. He must have something to redeem.
Is the consulting detective work not going so well? Sholmes, what are you up to? I wonder, could I ask you something?
Bien, sir.
I'm just curious, is anything going on in the museum at the moment? Some kind of accident, perhaps?
Whoever suggested such a thing to you?
Oh, well, it was your temporary waxwork over there who mentioned it to me a little... Where did he gone? Oh, he's disappeared. A wax model is a work of art, not some tawdry object for trade. Who's that? Ah. Oh, there he is. There you are!
Leaving the exhibit again when you should be working? Do you wish to be melted down?
My dear Madame Tispel, save your reprimands. There are more pressing concerns. The wax can wait. It's our ideas about your current problem we must throw into the melting pot instead. Personally, I would advise you not to involve the police.
Why ever not?
She's turned as white as a sheet. Because you have at your disposal a great detective whose services you may employ for a mere 50 shillings. Though please be aware that I prefer... No, I insist upon payment in advance.
Very well. Let us us see if the great detective is able to live up to his name, shall we?
Is it deduction time?
Before I engage in my analytical processes...
He turned Russian for a second.
Before I engage in my analytical processes, I must ask you to clarify something.
Oh.
What, pray, is behind the curtain? That is a Dispel special exhibit. There is an extra charge to see it. Ah, the special exhibit in the House of Horrors. Must depict a special killer then, I presume? Would you be so kind as to draw back the curtain, I wonder? Ah, absolutely no. There is nothing amiss behind there.
Nothing amiss, madame? I apologize for my terrible French. I do not speak it at all. What about the arm protruding ominously from under the curtain?
Ah.
I strongly encourage you to allow me to see what lies beyond before the situation worsens.
Yes, very well. I will draw back the curtains, but only a soupçon.
Soupcon? What is that fucking word? Spooky!
I must confess I peeked behind the curtain earlier. The Dispel special exhibit is a very bleak graveyard scene indeed. And yet somewhat surprisingly, the waxwork killer one would expect is nowhere to be seen. What does strike one, however, is the portly gentleman lying peacefully on his back on the floor.
Is he dead? Or is he just having a nap? Well then perhaps, Mr. Sholmes, that man on the floor is the ruthless killer himself.
I'm afraid not, my dear fellow. He's a perfectly ordinary London gentleman. Not even a waxwork, in fact.
What?
As skillfully made as these waxworks are, they are always distinguishable from real humans. So, allow me to present my two conclusions. The first is that a sizable business transaction has been taking place in this special exhibit. Why would you say that? And the second is that the aforementioned transaction is linked to a serious crime.
She looks as pale as candle wax.
I don't understand.
So, Madame Dispels, as you've agreed to my fee, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work. Let's go! I fucking love the deduction theme music. It's awesome. To begin with, we must ask ourselves what exactly is afoot here in this museum. The answer is revealed by the bundle of banknotes protruding so helpfully from your bag. In my estimation, some £200.
That is all my own money.
What does this large sum of money reveal? Ah, not as much as the involuntary glance you cast, it would seem, Madame Dispels. Yes, the answer lies where your eyes now fall. The significance of the £200 is revealed by that public notice. Waxwork for sale? Your business has been hit hard times, it would seem. In short, you sold the infamous killer, the centerpiece of your special exhibit, for the sum of £200.
No!
Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented. Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you.
Ah!
Unfortunately, madame, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the £200. It would appear that you twisted this gentleman around your little finger most effectively.
What are you suggesting?
He rashly agreed to purchase the waxwork for the sum of £200. Only then, when he came to hand the money over, did it occur to him what an extortionate amount he was paying. But the money was no longer in his hands. And the result? The scene we see before us. He collapsed in shock. killer in the special exhibit fetched a killer price. We can only pray that the gentleman's dreams are not played with regret. Sold for cash. Artwork location. The question that then arises then is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands. Let us consider that problem for a moment.
You cannot possibly.
What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing over there. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his neckerchief. Such as is worn by the policeman as a secret sign to fellow members of the force that a crime is being perpetrated. Statues available, please inquire. Yeah, she's broke. Yes, this young man is an undercover policeman, currently investigating this museum. I know him well, in fact. It's Sergeant John Clay.
What are you talking about?
The man's quite a celebrity. He received triple accolades at last year's policing awards.
But
next, we turn our attention to the old man sat before him with the particularly unsightly visage. I've been watching closely, and he hasn't moved a muscle. Almost, in fact, as if he were a waxwork. No shit.
But you...
Your reaction only confirms my suspicion, madame. I noticed it at once, of course. Observe. The price tag. The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man's waxwork is the obvious price tag. For pence, a tragically low price, you might say. Probably for the scarf he's wearing. Though perhaps the going rate for aging waxworks is riddled with cracks. And yet you sold the portly gentleman for an exorbitant £200. The sort of plucky behaviour that's sure to attract the attention of Scotland Yard. Isn't that so, madame?
I do not.
Yes, the waxwork you sold has already been seized by the police and remains in their custody as we speak. The old man must be reunited with his grave in the special exhibit and not a moment too soon. Okay, Sholmes. Thus concludes Sherlock Sholmes' great deduction of this horrifying puzzle. It was a deduction of some sort, Sholmes. I see I've stunned you all into silence.
You have, Hurley, you have. And you've obviously upset this young lady in the process. Her cauldron looks awfully hot.
If I could just bring up one point, Mr. Sholmes. Then sorry it's not a Hodo 1 point. I'm all ears, my dear fellow. According to your deduction, then the special exhibit featured this old policeman. So that would mean that he's the particularly ruthless murderer, wouldn't it? The killer policeman, Automole. Sorry? It was a mysterious series of murders that rattled the capital only last year. The police rushed to the scene every time, only to find the culprit had disappeared into the ether.
And it turned out the culprit was the policeman himself, a senior officer by the name of Automole.
So you mean that's who the sinister-looking old man there is supposed to be? Indeed. It is a particularly grim face, is it not? Unforgettable, in fact. Yes, I remember that odious countenance only too well. But is £200 a lot of money for a wax model? It would be enough to afford one of the latest steam carriages, if that puts things in perspective. So, it is quite a lot, then.
Is there anything else you would wish to add?
Before I melt you down. That bubbling wax is looking more and more ominous. Kinda looks like a cheese pizza.
Ugh, the smell of all that molten wax is starting to worry me.
Mr. Sholmes did more or less just accuse her to her face, so... I think I might have to call on your assistance here, Iris, if that's alright. It's to make some minor corrections to the Great Detective's great deductions.
Of course it's alright. We'll soon set things straight.
Well, let's get started then, shall we? Before Madame Tispels vents her anger. Just what I was waiting to hear, my dear fellow. So, Madame Tispels, in accordance with our agreement, you shall now have the pleasure of seeing this famously great detective and temporary exhibit at work. called it, Mr. Sholmes. I love this. I love this bit so much. To begin with, alright, let's skip ahead. We've already done this. Large sum of money reveal. Answer lies where your eyes now fall. She definitely looked in this direction, it's true.
But I'm not sure she'd sell any of her waxworks, even for £200.
Oh?
She must pour her heart and soul into making them, don't you think? Over and above the wax. If it were me, I wouldn't sell them for anything.
For that much money, I would. It sounds like that makes me a bad person. Well, anyway. I wonder if the £200 could have some other significance.
Let's follow that furtive glance again and see if there's anything else that could explain it. What's that note doing pinned on the wall there?
Oh, yes, let's see. Dear Madam Spells, we've taken the prisoner from this room. Oh, she's getting foreclosed. Price for a safe return is £200. Oh, no! She's being blackmailed. Have the money ready by noon on 23rd October. Ransom.
What?
It's just like the sort of thing that's left behind when someone is kidnapped.
Yes, it's a ransom note.
Exactly. Alright, well, there it is.
Take that!
Send money to her PayPal. The significance of the £200 is revealed by that ransom note. Quite so, and we must congratulate these criminals on their inventiveness. Abducting a waxwork. Ugh! £200 is no small ransom fee, yet you clearly intend to pay it.
The model in question has special importance, so I put together all the money I have.
In summary then, the £200 you have in your handbag is ransom money.
Now, let us explore the next curiosity with which we are presented.
Who is the portly gentleman stretched out so peacefully on the floor? It would appear the man has suffered a severe shock, the cause of which is clearly known to you. Unfortunately, madam, keeping secrets does not appear to be your forte. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the £200. So if the waxwork was kidnapped, where does that leave us in terms of who this man is?
We could just ask him when he comes around.
I think the point of this exercise is to understand the beauty of the deduction process, Iris.
Yes, you're right. Billy's trying so hard, we mustn't let him down.
Well, there's little doubt that he suffered a shock. That much seems clear. But in that case, what's Madame Spells trying to hide? Let's have a closer look around. Madame Spells has very long hair, doesn't she?
Yes, but you couldn't tell looking at it from the front.
You know, it looks rather like a whip, don't you think? The sort of whip that could have floored the gentleman with a single crack.
That seems a little far-fetched, even for you, Runo.
Ah!
This is just Madame Spell's right hand, isn't it?
Yes, it must be. I can clearly see her left hand, after all.
Oh, but wait a minute. This is a left hand as well, look.
Don't say such creepy things, Iris, please.
And it seems very stiff, too. In fact, it's really hard.
You mean it's made of wax?
Take that!
You need a hand over there, ma'am? Oh, you guys, something wasn't a foot in the wax museum. It was a hand. What dealt the man such a shocking blow was, of course, the waxwork hand. Indeed. Don't bonk me. No! Indeed, with a solid waxwork limb, one could deliver a very substantial blow. How could you...
Bruh.
The hand protruding from the bottom of your cape. It ought to be a right hand, but closer inspection reveals that in fact, it's a left hand. Ugh. And somewhat masculine as well. In other words, it does not belong to you, madame. It is the hand of a waxwork model. Phew! Let's give her a hand, ladies and gentlemen. Woo!
Some of the visitors to my museum can be troublesome. They meddle with the exhibits and cause damage.
So you mean that arm?
Bruh.
Yes, this gentleman saw fit to try to remove it as a souvenir.
No small keepsake. God, that fucking face, Rinosuke. Like taking a whole branch off a cherry tree when you go to view the blossoms.
I'm afraid I had to teach the man a lesson.
God, they're both so cute. You confronted the man and tried to take the arm back. And the result? The scene we see before us. He was knocked unconscious. A point we may need to revisit later, but for the time being, we have our conclusion. Yes, the killer in this special exhibit has been kidnapped. I keep trying to do my dramatic wiggles, but the VTuber model isn't working. I'm very upset about it. The question that arises then is what has become of the waxwork that changed hands? Let's consider that problem for a moment.
You cannot possibly.
What immediately strikes me about this conundrum is the young man standing over there. Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his neckerchief. According to Mr. Sholmes, the yellow neckerchief is a sign to other policemen that some crime is underway.
A way of communicating with his colleagues without revealing his identity, yes. It's a secret that's closely guarded by Scotland Yard.
That Mr. Sholmes didn't hesitate to give away.
Well, uncovering secrets is in any true detective nature, of course.
Right. Anyway, judging from how to dispel's reaction to Mr. Sholmes' abduction, I think perhaps we might not have identified the man quite correctly. I've seen hats like this in Japan as well. They're called flat caps, aren't they?
Yes, or hunting caps. Riley's hat is called a deer stalker, by the way.
Hunting, stalking. The British certainly seem keen on catching game. Every time I see a deer stalker, I automatically think of Mr. Sholmes. But flat caps make me think of Japanese country gentlemen somehow. In other words, people from all walks of life wear all different types of hat, so that doesn't really help us. Oh, he's missing an arm. What the? This man has a stub sticking out of his shoulder where his arm should be.
Ah, well, that settles that then.
Right, this isn't a real person at all.
His entire arm's been ripped off from the shoulder down.
His arm's been... Of course, that ties in with what we just found out. But is that his identity, though? I mean, I guess.
Take that!
Who is this fellow? To find the answer, we need only observe his shoulder stub. No such boneless human walks this earth. Of that I can assure you. In other words, the man standing here, the young Sergeant John Clay, is in fact defying all odds a waxworks model. I seem to remember it was you who concluded he was a real person in the first place, Mr. Sholm. Get him!
He has become quite a celebrity in London, being the winner of no less than 3 policing awards last year. I simply had to make a model of the man.
Naturally! What other explanation could there be? And it was this detective's arm that was pulled off by the man on the floor in the special exhibit, wasn't it? Next, we turn our attention to the old man sat before him with a particularly unsightly visage. I've been watching closely and he hasn't moved a muscle. Almost, in fact, as if he were waxwork.
Ah, but you...
Your reaction only confirms my suspicions, madame. I noticed it at once, of course. Observe. The telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this man is a waxwork is the obvious price tag. A killer policeman called Ottermole, was it? Was he well known?
It was all over the papers last year, but I can't say I know what he looks like. A very low price, though. 3 pence isn't much money.
Only enough for a few measly hours of gas in Mr. Garrett's delightful lodgings, in fact. I was just thinking that. So this is the special killer taken from the special exhibit, is it? The waxwork that somebody stole from the museum and tried to ransom for 200 pounds. Is this crusty old killer policeman Ottermole, really?
Perhaps we should have a good look around again and see if another idea crops up.
Oh!
Take that!
Telltale sign that instantly proves whether or not this old man is a waxwork is the obvious twitch. Even the most realistic waxworks do not exhibit a twitch. In other words, this splendid old man is in fact a genuine member of Scotland Yard. A slight shift in your choice of adjectives, then. And there you have it. Well, Madame Tispels?
Well, what? It was me who contacted the police and demanded that someone come to take the first place. Come in the first place.
He is clearly fatigued. He is sound asleep. But then, what's this tag showing a price of 3 pence? No doubt the price tag of the muffler, to which the old Bobby purchased recently at a local market. And I presume he was observed a scarf tied around his arm. Does that not strike you, Mr. Nudhodo? Yes, the secret sign used by detectives to show that some criminal activity is currently underway.
Of course, because as you know, there has been just such a criminal activity happening here. As you deduced from the very beginning, Detective.
So it would seem that we finally arrive at the truth. Look at my spinny boys. The waxwork of this especially ruthless killer from the special exhibit has been kidnapped. And Scotland Yard are already investigating. But the model's whereabouts remain a mystery. Thus concludes Sherlock Holmes' great deduction of this horrifying puzzle. Still a mystery. Deduction complete.
Choo-choo-choo-choo. All sorts of people visit my museum here, men and women, young and old. Sometimes they just drop in for a short time on their way back from the pub. I welcome them all. But if anyone tries to damage my exhibits, I do not take it lightly. Anyway.
I love her outfit, it's great.
Your great deduction was even more enchanting than I had been led to believe.
It was a pleasure, my dear madam. I'm gratified that you enjoyed the spectacle. And as for your rough customer, I've no doubt he'll regain consciousness shortly and return home. What concerns me more is the waxworks from the special display. If it was indeed genuinely abducted,
Yes, tragically it was.
then I would ask you to recount to us the events surrounding the stolen waxwork. And in as much detail as possible, if you please.
Very well. But after I have told you what I know, I must insist that you return to your work.
There he is, flexing. The talents of a great detective could be put to better use, I feel, but as you wish. Tell us more about the stolen waxwork, please.
It was some days ago now when I came in here on one morning. I immediately noticed that the waxwork was missing from the special exhibit here. Is it your most prominent display? So, that's why the curtains were closed.
And I found the ransom note in its place. The culprit must have broken in during that night and taken it then.
So this waxwork that was stolen, it was a model of some horrible criminal, I suppose? Of a particularly horrible criminal, in fact. The killer who left a mere profound scar on The professor.
Not a name I've heard of. So, Mr. Naruhodo, it seems the circle is complete. Sorry?
The professor case happened at around the time I was born, didn't it?
Indeed it did, Iris. 10 years ago, a series of murders that rocked the capital. 10 years ago? Yes, at exactly the time that Barak von Zeke... Oh, that's what he meant. Oh. That Barak von Zeeks graduated from university, in fact. What? Surely he's not saying...
So the big event that changed Mr. Reaper's life...
As you've surmised, it was the professor case. Who is this professor, then?
It was a series of gruesome murders that had all of London gripped in terror a decade ago. After 5 victims were killed, the man was arrested and put to death.
And now he's immortalized here in wax for all Londoners to admire and enjoy. Though, of course, he happens to be absent at present on account of the abduction. But I don't understand. How is all this related to Lord Van Zeeks? You must first understand, my dear fellow, why it is that the professor earned such infamy. It was due to the victims he chose, some of Whitehall's finest.
What do you mean, Hurley?
Those murdered by the professor were some of the highest members of the British aristocracy. Ooh, yeah, is like mom or dad or somebody was killed. I called it a while ago. Members of the nobility, even royalty, sent shockwaves through the country's administration. Members of the... Yeah, wait, of course! What Professor Harebrain said. Lord Van Zeeks is from a family with noble blood.
Oh, gosh!
It was the 5th victim that led to the professor's arrest. The last of the killer's prey was a young noble by the name of... something Von Zeeks. Clint Von Zeeks. I fucking knew it. No. I don't believe it, Van Zeeks. I'm sure you can piece together the rest for yourself. In the wake of his older his brother. In the wake of his older brother's murder, the young Barak pursued a career as a prosecutor. And eventually became the Reaper we know today. Holy shit, guy. Yeah, must have been his brother in the painting. I had no idea Lord Van Zeeks had such a tragic past. Well, I'm afraid that's all I can say on the matter. For the time being, at least. After all, I have work to do. As a waxwork exhibit? Oh my god, Sholmes.
I'm afraid I shall have to excuse myself as well.
Oh, yes, of course. It's been a pleasure. Thank you. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Was the murderer Japanese? Was the professor a Japanese guy? Well, none of the predicted scenarios I've been analyzing involved you coming to visit me here. Oh, we got a special cutscene.
It's really been too long, it really has. I'm delighted to see you, Barak.
It's been 10 years, and here we are, meeting in a prison of all places.
I can't forgive myself for what happened to Mr. Assman. I just can't.
I still can't believe it could happen. Tomorrow the court will decide.
Yes. I have a young Eastern man acting for my defense. He seems reliable enough, though. It was an accident. A terrible accident. He assures me he can prove it.
I must warn you.
Oh, I know. I've heard already. You're going to be prosecuting, aren't you?
Yes.
Since I returned to England, I've heard lots of stories.
I don't know what his accent did just there.
Barak, are you really...
What?
Never mind. I know that you have my best interest at heart.
My friend is on trial. I wouldn't entrust it to anybody else.
Of course. I fully understand. Thank you, Barak.
Until tomorrow, then. I'll see you in court. It's kind of sweet, but it's still a little fucked up. I guess we're wrapping up now. To be continued. All right. That's a perfect stopping point. All right. So we shall continue this on Monday, y'all. And hopefully by then I will have figured out why VTube Studio keeps crashing. The wait between streams seems so long. I'm sorry. If I could stream more often, I would, but I have so much shit going on. Ugh, I barely have enough time as it is, but I want to get through this game. All right, so Monday, we will be resuming. I'm going to do my usual shilling, and then we shall find someone to raid. Not too many people I follow streaming. Oh, Kisaka just started. Okay. Then I will do my usual shilling first, and we'll see if she's active in a minute. Okay, so thank you guys for coming to watch. Sorry about the technical difficulties midstream. I really am going to have to figure out why VTube Studio keeps crashing. I'm hoping maybe there's like some word on the internet of something like some setting that I can figure out. Because it's crashed on me, like, all 3 times that it's happened, it's in a VTube Studio crash, I think. And, like, this time, it like, disconnected everything from my computer, which was very strange. So I'm gonna have to figure that shit out. Anyway, so, my shilling. Be sure to follow if you're here, you have probably been here before and you're probably already following me. But if you're not following the stream already, make sure you do that so you can catch all my streams. I've just added some new stuff to my store, including Ace Attorney stickers, and I will have Ace Attorney charms available. I'm gonna save releasing them until after my big con I have at the end of the month, but I will have them available then. And also, hey, go read my webcomic, and follow me on Twitter. I post stream announcements there, although actually, I might need to add to my Twitter thing. I also have a new account specifically for VTuber shenanigans. Yeah, I saw you bought the Ace Attorney stickers. I sent out a alert this morning, and so I've been getting a lot of sales today, and it's very nice. Nice boost right at the start of the month. It makes me feel good. Also, if you haven't already, feel free to join our Discord. It's mostly for comic discussion, but we have definitely been posting a lot about the Ace Attorneys in the stream chat channel where applicable. And specifically how apparently getting accused of murder twice is just a common runs in the family, in the Naruhodo Phoenix Wright family. It's very cute. Horrifying but adorable. Anyway, so I am going to raid a fellow VTuber buddy of mine. Her name is Kisaka. I've raided her in the past. It looks like her stream has not quite started just yet. But she's doing something. I forget exactly what she's doing today. But she's got like some special Halloween thing going on today. So you guys should go give her some support. Oh, I think she's doing like a new outfit reveal today. So that'll be cool. She's doing something. I saw her posting about it on Twitter. But she's doing like some special Halloween event. But yeah, I will see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Look forward to next time where we go to court. Let's fucking go! Anyway, I shall see you all later. Fare thee well, goodbye!